You should be one of the first people in the office and one of the last to leave.
So corporations profit off of you doing this. There's 3 different techniques that corporations use on you almost every day. The first one is calling a project out of your scope a learning opportunity. And the false sense of security with this technique is like, you do this stretch project for us and maybe a year down the line you'll get a promotion or a raise. And that technique, it's pretty traditional, may work for you, but you need to understand that there's no guarantee to that. The second one is being a team player. Example is a colleague next to you got laid off, your boss tells you to pick up the slack on your laid off colleague's stuff, and then they go, oh, this is just a temporary measure. But the funny thing is that most of the layoffs happened late last year, early this year, and we're now almost in the 7th month of the year, and I still get fucking comments that are like, I'm still doing my laid off coworker stuff. And the third one is what she's talking about. And when I first started in corporate America, that belief still was a thing because we were still going into the office. It was right before 2020 when we were kind of shutting down and going remote. It can also look in the form of like happy hours and events, because when you're still around all of your work people, the familiarity of whatever conversation that you're going to start is usually around work. So employees are getting free labor by not really paying you and you're still talking about work. What happens with this is your employer is basically getting a BOGO on free labor. And the whole point that I make content is essentially so that you're aware of these things. And so for the creator that I stitched, this traditional like career advice may still work for her. So please don't like go over to her and give her hate. She's getting enough anyways in the comments, so it's very clear. But the whole thing is it works for her, whether it's from the industry that she's in, the background that she's been brought up in, it works. It can happen. My issue with that is you're on your deathbed and someone plays the tape of your life and you've spent a collective probably 60 hours a week doing all of these traditional things to maybe make 2 to 3 extra% of an annual raise, which is maybe a few $1,000s after taxes annually. So employers are trying to get the biggest bang for their buck. So should you. That's why I talk about quiet quitting. That's why I talk about job hopping, because it's kind of like fighting fire with fire essentially. And if you look at the term of quiet quitting, it basically just means you're only doing your job responsibility, yet the entire big media has demonized this word. Because employees don't make the most bang for their money when you're quiet quitting. That's why it's demonized in media. So I don't make content for you to just be like a jerk at work. That's not what I'm making content about. I'm making content on the awareness of this system that you are living in so that you can make the best choice for you, essentially. Because it's like, okay, do you want to spend that extra 2 hours at your job, or do you want to start making your commute home and actually spend time with your family? I just think it's cooler to have more of an interest in yourself than the employer, because they would lay you off anyways. Being the first to show up and the last to leave doesn't make you recession proof. It doesn't make you layoff proof. But you know who's responsible for you during a recession? You. So prioritizing yourself is the best way to stay recession-proof, in my opinion.
So something really interesting just happened to me like 5-10 minutes ago. And I feel like it's super important, at least to me, so I'm going to share it with you. I got to my last delivery. I'm super tired. As you can see, I'm sweaty and dirty. And I'm not even going to sleep in my house tonight. I'm sleeping over the road. So I'm already in a not amazing mood. When I get to the store, nothing is ready. I have to take care of everything. And I really had to bite my tongue because I hate confrontation. But today I was going to let him have it. So now I'm doing something that is not my job to be able to do what my job is. You know how that feels. Anyway, so as I'm struggling to fix this over here, this stranger walks by me. He stops, looks me up and down, and he says, "What are you doing? Stop that." He saw the look of confusion on my face, so he proceeded to explain. He said, "I was overworked and undercompensated for 15 years, so I can spot an overworked employee from a mile away. You're over here huffing and puffing, doing something that is not your job, while the person who was supposed to do your job didn't do it. You two are going to get the same exact thing. Nothing." He said, "Look at me. I'm 66 and I look like I'm 80. Do not do this to your body." And then he left me with these words: "You're young enough to have a life, so have it." And to be honest with you, he put me in a very good mood. I was not even going to make a video today. Again, I'm dirty, sweaty, tired, but he motivated me. And right now, all I want is the words of this wise, unappreciated man, the words that he told one person to reach millions. Stop overworking yourself. There's no benefit in it. And if you followed me for any amount of time, you will know that I take pride in hard work, but there's a difference in hard work and overwork. The sad part is that your employer is not going to know that difference. You do. Respect yourself and your body enough to know where to draw the line and do what you are being paid for. And if you have to wait for someone else to do their job for you to be able to do yours, you sit and you wait. Because guess what? you're not going to get paid a cent more for doing someone else's job.
Are you a resentful rock star at work? This is where your productivity is on point. You care about the work. Other people see you as that point person who knows everything, and you provide a ton of value for your company. And at the same time, you feel undervalued, underappreciated, and like you're not getting paid enough for all the different hats that you're wearing. The worst is when you actually get feedback on the work that you're doing, it's maybe negative or not the kind of praise that you were hoping for. If this sounds like you, then there's a good chance that you're a high performer who is starting to feel resentful about the work that you're doing. Feeling underappreciated at work is one of the main causes of burnout, and it can cause you to leave your job and find work elsewhere. So if you feel underappreciated or taken for granted at work, let me know down below in the comments why you think that's happening.
Peace.
And the mood of people has been kind of down, and everyone I talked to had that sense of like overwhelm, not burnout, but more like overwhelmed, tired, exhausted. And obviously this has been going on for a while, but I was kind of thinking, like, where is it coming from? I think it's because COVID revealed it. Like, I think we were all running way too fast as a American culture, and like all workplaces want more. So it's just like a systemic thing. Like, we're all running faster. And then COVID like highlighted it with a big ass highlighter.
So two employees came up with a unique way of handling burnout that led to them both getting better jobs. So they were both overworked and stressed out, and their manager didn't seem to be doing anything about it, so they decided to have a secret meeting. And in this meeting, they would share with each other one thing that they did in the prior week to make work suck less. But as they shared tips on like how to make work a little easier or how to work with a specific manager, they discovered something a bit more impactful. Like, every time they shared an idea for how to make things easier, they became more confident in their own abilities. And as they shared strategies for how they worked with different managers, they discovered strengths and abilities they didn't know they had. And the more they learned about themselves through sharing with each other, the more confident they became to apply to things they never would have thought of before. And because they decided not to handle burnout alone, through those secret meetings, they realized they can do just about anything together.
So you're burnt out and you can't quit your job. Well, to be honest, I actually wouldn't advise quitting. Unless it's a terrible, toxic workplace, then that's a different story. But maybe you're burnt out because you've been selling your soul to the job. And this is what's likely making you feel like you don't even know who you are anymore. But what if instead of focusing so much on your job burning you out, you focus more on you? What if you just let work be work and you build your identity outside of your job? Maybe instead of working all day and then spending nights and weekends worrying about work, you spent time rediscovering your interests. Because maybe taking that time to learn more about you could add a new perspective here. Maybe this could really allow you to see that your entire being is controlled by your job and there's more to you than just that. I know for me, when I rediscovered who I was outside of my job, it actually made me better at my job. Because I started setting boundaries, I started saying no, I started delegating, I stopped focusing so much on doing everything perfectly because I had places to be. And those boundaries allowed me to tap in to more of who I was, someone just outside of my job. And so I felt more fulfilled as a human. So I brought that more fulfilled human to the workplace, which made me better at my job because I was going into it with a better attitude. If you don't know who you are outside of your job, it's so easy to make your job your everything. And then your life just becomes dictated by what you do versus who you are. Once you open the doors and step into rediscovering who you are, that is what reveals a ton of life clarity.
I'm tired of working, man. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of going to these jobs. It's not even about my particular job. It's not about any job I've had. I'm just tired of the whole job system. I'm tired of this understanding or this belief that we have to go to work 5 to 6 to 7 days a week to barely afford to eat. I mean, who made these rules? Why do we do these things? Who made it to where someone told us, yeah, 40 hours a week or more, you're going to make this amount and you're going to work this difficult till you're about, 65, and then you're going to retire and maybe barely have a fucking enough to actually survive. And then guess what? In about 2 or 3 years, you're going to die, or you're going to die before you even fucking hit 65. I digress. I don't know about you all, but I'm tired. I'm sorry. Sometimes I get a little emotional. Sometimes you got to make yourself laugh in the pain. I'm tired, bro. I don't know about you, but I'm tired, man. And at this point, it's just like, dog, it's not even about looking for another job. I'm tired of looking for jobs. I don't even want to put in a job application. I'm tired of Indeed. I'm tired of ZipRecruiter. I'm tired of people scamming you. Oh, we got this job for you, but it's really not a job. It's some job in Malaysia or Asia or somewhere overseas. You don't even speak the language. Man, I'm tired, man. I'm tired. Some people will say, oh, man, that means you're lazy. I don't give a fuck. That makes me lazy. Oh, well. Oh, well.
When I tell y'all corporate America is stressing me the out, I literally prayed so long and hard for my job. I was unemployed for a full-time job for about 4 months. And I kept applying to jobs. And I finally got my current job. Now, my job was good and easy until it got further in, and they start asking for more. Metrics start to come into play. I never really liked the attendance policy. Like, if you're sick and dying or something's really wrong with you, they really don't care. Today, like, I just had, like, my little moment. Like, it has to be something else that I can do. Like, there's no reason I should come to work and have anxiety before I clock in, be so agitated to the point where I want to cry. Like, it's just not making sense. It feels like I'm a broken record daily. I'm saying the same thing over and over and over and over again. But these customers don't make it any better. They're so freaking mean, like, literally don't care. Then I have to sit up here and put on this facade and have my customer service voice while someone's disrespecting me. Like, it's just not working. And the crazy thing is, the pay is good. The pay is great. But it just shows you, like, no matter how much more you progress in life financially or, like, monetary wise with jobs, like, if it's stressing you out, it's just not going to work. Like, I literally clocked out and told myself today, like, I'm going to give myself some time, literally. I went right to the ice cream place and got me a fudge ice cream. I sure did. And I'm going to sit right here in my car and enjoy my ice cream. And I'm going to go back to work tomorrow and clock in like nothing happened today. Granted, I only had 3 hours left of my 8-hour shift, but I just couldn't do it. I can't.
We were not put on this planet to work for 60 years and then die. Like, I refuse to buy into that bullshit. Have you seen how beautiful this world is? You mean to tell me I'm supposed to stay in an office all day, every day, for the majority of my waking life? No, I'm not doing it.
I have lost so much motivation to work a regular job. I don't want to work a regular job anymore. You know, it's a rat race. I've lost my energy to do so. I'm not even motivated by the money anymore. It just seems as though everybody that's around me is in their own little bubble. I don't really have anybody who communicates or talks to me anymore. Even, the ones that I used to consider my close friends, they've seemed to just dropped off. So it's kind of lonely out here, isn't it? At some point, I believe that our system as to how we work and how we're supposed to live is going to change, because inflation is too high. And people are not motivated to work as they used to be. People are realizing that there's a better way of going about doing things. So if anybody else feels this way, please let me know. I'm not the only one, hopefully.
I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what leadership and development class you went to. Good employees get tired of being good employees to ungrateful employers. It's that simple. It's not quiet quitting. It's just that good employee has reached their threshold where they said, my good enough is not going to be good enough for you. Yes, sometimes I think that your employees have grown bitter, and have gotten cold-hearted. But I think more of it is that they're tired of swimming across oceans for companies who aren't willing to step over a puddle for them. Companies will pay another company hundreds of thousands of dollars to keep them competitive, to make sure that they can stay competitive in a market, make sure their pricing is where it needs to be, make sure everything is where it needs to be for the product and the consumer, but will look at their employees and go, it's not in the budget. The problem that generates is you've taken these good employees who have amazing work ethic and all they want to do is succeed, and you've made them feel like they failed, and you've made them feel like it's their fault. As a company, no team building exercise is going to rebuild a person who was already great. Good employees don't grow tired of being good employees. They grow tired of being punished for being good employees. So many companies out here that will make good employees feel like they should be grateful to have a job, when truthfully, if you look at the job market and look at work ethic and look at people coming into the workplace, you as a company should be grateful to have good employees.